Good morning, everyone. Today we're here to talk about AI at the core of media operations. As we are all seeing that AI has become scaled up from experimentation to scale, how it is affecting monetization, personalization, advertisement in the media industry. I'm joined by an esteemed panel here, Tulip from Amazon and Nimesh from Persistent. The first topic let's that we're going to touch upon is how has AI shaped and is working to reshape the contextual advertisement in terms of better understanding of the customer. How is dynamic ad insertion getting powered by AI to have better ad placements, contextual placements that make more sense, have more uh, you know resemblance to the customer. So let's start from there.
Thank you, Pawan. So I'm a principal solutions architect with AWS. So I work with the media entertainment industry quite closely. So I mean, when we look at media entertainment and like what we show across, like let's say like the videos or the movies or sports as well, like we like obviously we want to like collect like the contextual, like the behavior of the user, what they are clicking on, what they are like, pausing or like repeating, so what they're watching. So collecting all those metadata has been very essential to understand what they are interested in. And then based on that, like providing them the correct ad or like personalizing the ad in terms of like, let's say like I'm watching for my kid, a Phineas and Ferb or a show like that. And then basically like they are interested in certain like football or like a baseball, like and be able to like provide the correct ad based on that. So it's a lot depending on like the way AI is shaping our world right now. How can we use all this data that we have to provide the right ad, to provide the right contextual information to be able to place it? And you might have seen as well, like, the Shop the Show on Prime Video app, where basically like if you are watching a scene and you're like, oh, like I really like what Miss Maisel is wearing in terms of like the dress, and I want to be able to shop it, and you're able to connect to Amazon.com and be able to buy it. So these are the things that we are trying to change, make it more personalized, where the user feels like, oh, I'm actually like this app or the movie knows me when I'm watching, and they are able to guide and personalize it particularly for me, so that I can go and shop and the right things that I want. So that's how I've seen like basically like how the media entertainment is kind of moving, make it more personalized, make it where the ads are coming up at the right place, based on how the user behavior, and also like giving you the right context, the right ad information based on how the user has been like clicking or watching movies.
Thank you, Tulip. Nimesh, let's build a little bit more on the whole data aspect that Tulip was talking about.
Sure. Thanks, Pawan. And I would completely agree to the way Tulip described. To me, context is more around not where the ad shows up, but more around why the moment matters to the viewer. Now, if I summarize what topic Pawan just described in a single statement, I would put it up as elevating the contextual targeting with semantic understanding. Now, contextual targeting has predominantly been like keywords and content categories, but AI is completely changing the fundamentals of it. By looking at how Persistent approaches it, we apply AI-led semantic intelligence, which understands the data much deeper. Look, what's on the screen? What's the emotional tone which is being viewed by the viewer? Or how the video and the audio and the text is being calibrated and the backend is what we try to figure out, leveraging AI-led transformations. And the way we see it is by combining natural language processing, computer vision, audio computing. It helps the platforms get much more deeper understanding of the data. And if I look at contextual intelligence now, to be the next performance engine. Now, if contextual intelligence is more around in today's privacy first world, right? Performance does not depend on the the viewer's identifiers. It more looks at contextual intelligence makes a shift from a brand safety tool to more like a performance driven tool. So that's where we bring in the AI component and see how we can help customers understand the viewer leveraging AI and give them a context of what can be done and how it can be done at a scale is by system intelligence. So eventually how AI is driving the audience, the audience towards understanding the content and giving those nature to the advertisers, and that's how they can monetize it.
Thank you, Tulip and Nimesh. I just wanted to add one point that we at Persistent, we have created a layer because dynamic ad insertion has been there for more than a decade. But with AI layer getting added, the whole contextual advertisement is what is bringing it to life. So interestingly enough, Tulip, you already touched upon the whole shoppable commerce, right? So whether it is add to shop or whether it's stream to shop, you have already X-ray that we can further leverage. So let's talk a little bit more about the whole shoppable commerce aspect of how AI is helping and what the future of monetization of streaming to shopping for a consumer would look like.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is, there's information out there and we need to be able to collect that information. And so having, when you look at the WOD content, when we call about the movies and the episodes and videos, so we have the leverage to be able to collect a lot of analyze the videos, and we collect information like who the character is, what is the character doing, what the scene is about, and get a lot of contextual information beforehand, at least about the movie or the video. Now, if you go into sports side, it's a little bit different. Like sports, it's live. And so you're not able to kind of predict what's going to come. But let's say your favorite player is playing and you really like the shoes that they're wearing and you want to be able to buy those shoes. So there's if you live versus WOD is a little bit different. And so the essential thing is we want to be able to understand what that video is about, get all the metadata from the audio, from the video, be able to analyze it. And so we have prior information. And based on user behavior, obviously, what, based on their age group or gender or their preferences, be able to kind of dynamically change it and provide the right ads at the right time. So for example, for at least for WOD content, you are able to kind of serialize, but when the scene changes, I want to be able to provide the correct ad. So when a scene changes from a living room to a bedroom, you're able to provide the ad because there's a scene change. But when you're talking about live, it's totally different dynamic because you never know when there is let's say in soccer a goal happens or something and you have a gap or a break. You can't predict that, and you have to be able to right as it happens, provide the right ad at the right time, and then kind of show the right ad to the user. So there's a lot of things that needs to be done based on what kind of things you're showing. And so dynamic ad insertion kind of comes in very useful in those kind of cases. So you have information before based on the user profile. Sometimes you have information based on the video that you're showing. Sometimes you do not. And so the richer metadata we have, the richer, we can run LLMs on top of it and AI on top of it, be able to model it out and say hey, based on this user, they might prefer to see their best player. They already know the best player or their favorite player. They might want to be able to know what they're wearing. So you are able to provide the right information at the right ad at the right time. Thank you.
Thank you, Tulip. So, Nimesh, from our perspective, let's talk a little bit more from a analytics perspective of how we are making it happen.
Sure, thanks. And Tulip very clearly articulated, right? I mean, what viewers are viewing today, how it's going to change their mindset when you are looking at the ads. And, the commerce aspect should not break their concentration. The engagement should not drop because it's irrelevant. So shoppable videos in today's world, it's more like it should be part of the story, not a break to it. The moment it breaks, it becomes as an interference, the engagement drops. This is exactly what we are trying to help the OTT platforms, the live streaming and the premium streaming, live sports and premium streaming. The core idea is how we can analyze the moment where the viewer is into that story. We all as viewers are heavily immersed into the content. And if commerce comes in as a interference, it definitely blocks. So exactly how Tulip was indicating is like if the scene moves from the bedroom to a new scene, the complete mood of the viewer changes, and we need to align. And that's where the AI comes into the play. It's more around things like how we can talk about uh, content aware, intent aware, and viewership aware. If we can combine these together and create a model which understands to, map the advertisements and bring it to the customers or the viewers, is how it's going to shape it. It should not, again, be a interpreter, but rather than a part of the story.
Well said. And we have come up with a solution which is add to shop, which exactly does what Tulip and Nimesh explained. So it's all about intent. It's all about how we enhance customer experience without have being intrusive. Now we talked about contextual advertisement. We talked about commerce, but at the center of it is the consumer, right? So we have to ensure that we have better personalization, better contextualization for a consumer. So let's kind of wrap up this discussion by talking more how AI is evolved the whole customer 360 personalization aspect when we talk of sports or premium streaming.
Yeah, I mean, and I can give an example, like, recently, like, I saw somewhere, like, basically, like, we have seen cases where, let's say, like, a person's crying in a scene, and you're able to, like, come up with, like, a Kleenex ad right there. So, like, having those kind of, like, awareness of what the scene is about, and the person watching it is probably moved at that point in time watching it. And so, like, a Kleenex, kind of ad. So these are the sort of examples when I think about, like, the contextual advertisement really, like, that kind of comes in and plays. Then there's obviously, like, aspects of where we want to be able to the when we watch, when we watch, like, even for, like, marketing purposes, like, we want to market a certain, like, trailer to a certain, person out there, like, who's watching, on the app. So how do we get it, like, where the person watching that particular, like, we want to be attracted to that particular video and be watching it. So the recommendation also, like, kind of moves around, like, what their previous viewing history, what they have watched in the past. And so this previous viewing history also kind of determines what they are recommended when they open that app. And also, like, while they're watching the movie or watching the video or watching sports, what advertisement gets shown to them. And again, like, whenever a live sports or movie is being shown, you have a list of ads. And so, like, depending on what the user has watched in the past, and let's say, like, they have watched a lot of rom-com movies, a lot of romantic movies. And so, a user is more of a rom-com romantic user. And so and if it's, you already know if it's a female, so they might be interested in, like, maybe, like, flowers, or maybe, like, flower oriented ads. So you already have that kind of saved, and based on where the scene is and what the scene is about, showing them the correct ads at the right moment. So this is where we are kind of, like, seeing the shift right now, like, for users to be able to be in that moment while they're watching it, be able to quickly go and be able to shop that, rather than, like, oh, I have to now Google search and see, like, what it is about, what the dress is at, like, reverse image search. You're able to directly go while watching and go shop it and find it, and essentially save time and be able to get the right product that you want. And so the whole the way the industry is kind of shifting is how can we make it more personalized, where it feels like this whole experience of watching movie is for you. It's been tailored to you. It's been catered to you, and you're the most important person out there, the viewer. Thank you.
So, Nimesh, let's talk about what you mentioned. You are the most important person out there. So, how are we making it happen?
Every viewer is important. What we need to understand is, while we are trying to look at the viewership, we probably may go for micro-segmentation. Now, what does micro-segmentation lead to? It's not about, reduced audience. It's about scaled, smarter relevance at scale. We are not trying to slice down the inventory of our viewership into thousands of tiny buckets. But the more important aspect is to how we can make it relevant on the kind of moment they are watching the content, and make it relevant for them. And that relevance is actually shifting. It's dynamic. It's not static. So the shift is from a static list of our content or our viewership towards a dynamic shield where AI models are on runtime trying to look at the mood and the content which the viewers are looking at, and then establishing them with the right, the right advertisements and the for them to go to shop on the floor. So with this kind of a situation, what we have realized is AI has to be a foundation of all the content which you are trying to take it to your viewers. And to have the right AI strategy, you need to first have a right AI foundation, which is the data foundation. Unless your data and your content is in the right format, it will be impossible for anyone to move along that. There is a massive shift which Tulip was indicating, that it has been earlier was how to make it AI ready. Now we are helping the customers to go to AI active, so that you can make those activations of AI into your business. And then the core shift is from, earlier it was we are experimenting AI. Now we are taking AI to production ready. So that's where we bring that value, and how we can emerge or completely convert the customer experience of our viewership.
Thank you, Ramesh. So, rightly said, I'll just, close that point by saying, when we look at the signals from the customer, so what device, what time of day, what day of the week, what device in a house, right? So you could have kids in the house and watching, say, a cartoon show over the weekend, versus if you're commuting from office on a metro, you might be watching a show or a documentary. So how do you get better recommendation, and better personalization? And rightly said, so AI is not anymore about experimentation or POC, but now we are helping customers scale it so that they're able to better monetize, they're able to serve better content to the customer, so that the runtime, the watch time, and the clicks, everything increase, and there's better engagement, and I would say better customer experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.